How did you do that? Thanks, Mateo.
No problem. I'm gonna change my name.
Okay.
Sorry about the thing. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Sarah, did you see my email?
Um, let's see. Did you send it to shutesbury.org?
No, I think I sent it to your personal. Let me see what the email I used was.
Um, I'm, let's see. I
Gmail.
don't think that's a problem, but
Okay.
um, if we're not at quorum, let's see what happens.
Rory.
Hello.
I made another spreadsheet like we did last year. I didn't fill in anything. Is that useful again, or do you
Yes,
yeah,
that would be
okay.
great. Yes.
I will put that in the chat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think we would need um project title, applicant, and then the amount we'll grant them with a running total. And I also need a note taker today. Note taker. Something sort of a minutes, like we discussed this for so many minutes and this for so many, but it doesn't have to be down to the each individual project that we talked about.
I can say that this dyslexic slow typer is not ready for the job.
Again, don't go overboard on note taking, but we do have to submit.
Not for lack of interest, but just like that is not my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm the same way.
Is there no chat?
Heyo, come
Um,
on.
Yeah, so I was about to say, Elizabeth, there is no chat on the town Zoom, so you'd have to send it by email.
Yep, I will do that right now. I'm going to send it to the group.
Okay. Can you do it in a live Google Doc?
It is, yeah, it's a
Awesome,
Google
great.
Sheets. Yeah. I can take notes. I know that when I take notes, I don't participate generally, having been a number of roles in the PTO. I'm really happy to record, but I'll be less chatty, which might be for the best, and we'll get through things faster. So I can
Thank you, Elizabeth.
yeah, I could do that.
There is I don't know when the minutes need to be submitted to the town clerk, but because the video is also recorded, I mean, that
Oh,
would relieve some pressure about needing to jot things down as we're, I mean, yeah. You probably don't want to go back and watch the whole video, but
no.
Yeah, I would really want you to know, like, it doesn't have to be a detailed, because there is the video. This is going to be recorded. This is being recorded. So it can just be a very simple sort of order of business. Even in one, just like one document.
Yep, I'm
Like we
gonna
started
put it
talking
in a
about-
Google Doc and
Yes.
I'll share it with everyone so you can see how it's going.
Do you feel okay doing that at the same time as you keep track in the spreadsheet?
I'll do my best.
Anyone else? Note taking, just a very brief note take. Send it in an email to me very briefly.
I think what we
talked about.
did last year was you filled in the spreadsheet as we went too. So between the two of us, maybe? Sorry, I shouldn't interrupt.
Yes, okay, you sent the spreadsheet.
Okay, I'm sending. And I just sent the notes document. I'm happy to do that. I think I can do both.
Okay.
Any word from our other members?
Has anyone messaged? One, two. No, nobody has replied. No word. But we're good with the 5 of us.
The
It could
quorum.
be 4 and still be okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay. Hello, how's everybody?
Great.
No.
Did everyone get the panel book? Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Let's hold on. I had a note. Let me grab my notes. Okay, so we have $5,500 to award. And we've had applications for the total in the requested amounts is 12,400.
Yeah. And
Um,
we had a lot more applicants this year than we have.
we did.
But yeah,
Yeah, we did have a lot more applicants. I don't know if, does anyone have a feel for why that might be the case this year? More
curious.
applicants. It's good. I wonder if like the Cultural Mass Council is getting the word out more, or you know, folks have been attending events around the valley. But that's good. I think it's good. It's good to have too many to choose from. I think it's a good thing. Since we're on the recorded meeting, I just want to touch base first before we talk about the applicants with our sort of how we preference applications in terms of what we award. Does someone want to pull up the website that has our sort of statement for what we preference? It's on shutesbury.org.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. The council.
Great. Do you want to just read that for the
Okay.
opening meeting? Thank you.
The mission of the Shutesbury Cultural Council is to promote education. I'm going to skip some of this boilerplate stuff. Applications are evaluated in terms of several review criteria, including artistic or creative merit, project design, qualifications, dedication, and track record of the individuals and organizations involved, physical accessibility of any facilities being used, community benefit, support, and/or involvement, ability to address the diverse cultural needs and audiences of the community, evidence of planning and potential for success or completion, and financial need and/or availability of other sources of funding. And then we also have 3 priority things. Priority is given to Shutesbury-based applicants, projects, events, or programs that have already secured a local venue, projects, events, or programs that serve the widest range of local populations.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so going through the list, I went through it today and I looked for, the first thing I looked for were local applicants. I don't know if anyone else is familiar with the list or if I should sort of go through that list first of who are the local applicants, and we can make a note. Does everybody have the list sort of nearby at hand?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. This is the first few pages of the panel book. There are some that are definitely very local, like for example, just number 1, Quabbin Valley Pro Musica. I know that they asked the local councils, all the councils just very nearby. This is New Salem, at the New Salem Meeting House, they perform there. So that's very local adjacent. But I'm just gonna go through the actual sort of residents of Shutesbury applying for project funding right now. Maybe just someone want to like just note, Elizabeth, are you able to just note next to each one what that is? Maybe we can total up what those are, and then we can look at those projects and then see what we have left.
Yeah, if
Dollar
you read it
amounts
out loud, so I don't have to toggle back and forth too much, then that I can do
Yeah.
that. Sure.
Do you want to put in the project title? Why don't we do applicant name? Should we do it that way? Applicant name and then amount? And then we'll
Sure.
go through. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Can you also give me the number? Aren't they
Yes,
numbered?
let's do
Yeah,
that.
that'll help me
Okay.
get back to the
The number on the far left-hand side, table
Yeah.
of contents, okay. And someone, if I make a mistake here on this list too, let me know. The first one I'm at here is numbers 4, 5, and 6, Sarah Casilio. Number 4 is for 120. And again, we'll discuss the actual projects in a moment. Number 5, again, Sarah Casilio, $420.
Yep.
And the number 6, again, Sarah Casilio, $232.
Okay.
So that's 800.
Okay, great. Then number 7 is the Community Network for Children doing a program at the Spear Library. That's 260.
Okay.
Number 8, Eli Elkis, musician, that's 300.
Number 10.
Yep, number
Joan
10,
Green.
yes. That's on Open Studios in Shutesbury with Joan Green as the applicant, 445.
Thank you.
12, that's Westfield. Okay, now we're to 14, 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
Those are all through the library.
Yeah. So they are. That's 450, 1,000,
540.
Oh, thank you.
Number 14 is 540,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
1,000.
750 and then 600.
Yes.
So we're up to 46.95.
Happens fast.
Thank you, okay. Then we're down to local, okay.
21.
Yes, 21. This is the Shutesbury Elementary School for 450.
The
24?
PTO usually funds
24.
that. I don't know if that's useful information or not.
The yes, the author visit, they can fund it if we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And we should look back at their application and see if this is like in addition to PTO funding.
Right. Yeah. It seems like it's the right number for the total amount, but I could.
Okay.
Oh, maybe the total amount that the PTO funds is just the books and not the visit. Yeah. Okay.
Are you on the PTO?
I mean, I've been the secretary and the treasurer for the last couple of years,
Okay.
but I did step down this past semester because I was completely overwhelmed. But I did the budget for this year. So anyway, do you have
Good.
something?
24 Anna Sobel, 400.
Yes, 24 Anna Sobel, $400.
25 Julie, 600.
Yep. And that's it. The number
Who is
26.
Bernadette Stockwell? Does anyone know? Is that a local person or is that just a?
Bernadette Stockwell, it's a Zoom art project workshop, and she is based in Littleton, Massachusetts,
Got it.
and has applied to, so it says Shrewsbury Do Your Art, but it's actually one workshop, and she's applied to do it in Melrose, Orange, and Waltham.
Right. So it's just a name check. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is not a local resident.
Thanks.
That would be 26. So we can table that with the rest of them for after we look at the first criteria. I think that's it on the list. Did I miss anything that's very specifically Shutesbury residents or organizations applying?
Nope.
The wool felting, that's not a local person.
No, she's in, where is she? She's in Westfield or? Where is she?
Which number is it?
Number 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not local.
I think she's in Westfield.
I made a note that she didn't have any, there were no partnerships either with local organizations for that one. What's the total there with those?
6,145.
Okay. Close. Should we take a look at these then, each of these projects?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually have 6117.
Oh,
Even closer.
uh-oh.
Unless
See,
maybe
this is
I'm
why I'm not
missing.
taking notes.
Oh, here, let me look at your spreadsheet. You know what, maybe a number's off in there somewhere, but let's still go through project by project, and then we can, as we go through each one, we can double check the number that you have, Elizabeth. And thank you again for doing that.
I guess my first question would be, is there any elements that we had mentioned this before, that have alternative funding sources?
The library programs would be anything that we don't cover is covered by the Friends of the Library. You had mentioned the school, the PTO funding something, Elizabeth.
Yep. There's a lot
So-
of money in the PTO budget for the library.
If this is our core group and this is our first layer of qualification, and this is sort of the only group that we're considering, then it makes sense to move forward with partially funding to our budget availability groups that we know have alternative means.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. So that would be the library and the school, basically, right?
Let's look. So
And what are we over by?
what's that?
What are we over by? How much is the overage?
600-ish.
5,500 is what we have. So
Yeah.
617 over.
Repeat that, I'm sorry.
I think it's 617 over.
So, if we wanted to be equitable about it, you could just divide that by 4 or 5 or whatever that number is and shave off that dollar amount for each thing, or we could go through by, priority, interest, funding, if there's something that feels really important to move forward with, or something that we want to just if there's something that we want to fund, or even outside of this group, if there's something that we feel like it's really important that we fund as a town to show support for.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Was there anything on the list that wasn't local that anyone was really excited about?
I think a lot of people on this committee, but right now, I could also speak to things that we've funded historically as sort of like a nod to the, like, our town supports what you're doing. I would put maybe Pro Musica at the top of that list, because their pool of ask is smaller
Mhm.
than some others. There are, you can tell the difference between a wide net ask and something that might be more local, even though not our town local.
right, they and their ask is to all of our neighbors, like us, Pelham, New Salem, Wendell, those are the councils they're asking, and sort of as a group, all those towns are supporting it. So yes.
And the other one might be number 11, Hilltown Families, because they really do a lot of research.
Yeah, that's a historically,
And as long as I've been here, I think we've always funded them in some amount. Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't
Um,
remember Pride last year. Is that a new ask?
Pride's been there for the last 2 years.
Has it?
yeah, Pride.
Yep.
Did we
I-
fund them before?
Number
I think
9.
so, and I think it was like a small amount, but it was more sort of like a acknowledgement of their mission.
I remember doing that. I don't think it was last year though, because I don't remember that receipt coming through. It may have been 2 years ago that we did that I think we partially funded it 2 years ago, the Pride event. Yeah.
I think considering what's been happening at the middle school, it might be a good idea to show some support and to
Yeah,
throw some money that way. I would be in support of that.
Yeah, okay. I would also support that as well.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
What number is that one? Does someone have that?
9, I think.
number 9.
Great.
I'm not necessarily advocating for something, but this is going back to the discussion about Pro Musica. And if one of the things that we are thinking about is serving the region and also supported by lots of our neighboring cultural councils. Uniquely, Quabbin is funded by a long list of cultural councils that does not include us. And I don't know necessarily if we're interested. I mean, it's obviously not it's a publication, it's not a program, but yeah, it has a very
I think
broad
it's-
service area.
Historically, we've given them money.
We have for sure, but this might be an opportunity for us to reinstate that.
Yeah, let's see.
What number was that?
28.
28, yes.
Yep. Not both of them though, Edie.
So just to clarify, maybe 28 and number 9 and number 1 are the ones that we're thinking about as sort of like bringing in
And 11 as well. That's,
11.
Hilltown Families.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So 1, 9, 11, and 28. Do we want to add that into our umbrella overall number and then consider partial funding in an equal way, or not that I'm advocating for that, but just a thought.
So this is the total for these 4 is $1,250. These 4 projects. That's the ask for those.
So if we were over by 600, we're talking about like 1,800.
Yeah, let's see. What did we do for Hilltown Families last year? Just for reference, Hilltown Families last year, we awarded them 125. Quabbin Valley Pro Musica, we awarded them $222 last year.
What number was Quabbin again? I'm sorry.
1.
Pro Musica, is that what you mean?
Excuse me. Yes, I misspoke. Yeah.
Number 1.
And then what was the other one that you quoted Hilltown?
So last year we gave Hilltown Families 125.
That's number 11.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make that.
What else we said?
And did we not support Pride last year?
We did not do that last year. I don't have it on the list for last year, but I remember doing it. It must have been the year before. I don't even know if they applied last year.
I don't remember them applying
Yeah.
last.
I don't either.
I don't think they did. I think I would have remembered.
We did fund the Shutesbury Elementary School author visit, just as a reference as well. We funded that. We funded $300 for that last year. Not that we have to do that, the same thing again, but just as a reference.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Did we fund Uniquely Quabbin last year?
No, we did not.
So Pride and Uniquely Quabbin are the two that we didn't fund last year.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's another thing that we've done historically is to sort of move the money around in terms of like there are reoccurring applicants that we want to support and we can't support everybody. So sometimes it's just an off year to take a break from supporting something so that we can put money towards something else. Not that it has to stay that way.
That makes sense.
But something to consider when we talk about.
I mean, something different this year also is that we have so many applicants, there's so many applicants and there's a lot of like local individuals who have applied this year, which is a little different than some years past. We've had some extra and we've sort of spread that around a little further afield. But then again, like with the list we've already put out, there's a nice diversity of projects too. Different kinds of things. Can we revisit just who also has sources of other funding? If, which exactly are the projects that if they don't get the full award, we'll still move forward with funding? I just want to make sure we catch all of those. It was the library and then.
Yes, the library has Friends of the Library.
Yep.
And I believe there are other opportunities. I know that there's I'm spacing the name just because I'm required to remember it. Something in New Salem, the New Salem Academy. New Salem Academy, not a guarantee. I mean, not a guarantee in the way that Friends of the Library is. But as far as I know, that is another potential resource.
That's for Quabbin Valley Pro Musica. Is that what you mean? Or is that for
No, you were talking about you were talking about the library.
the library pro? Yes.
The two other things that I'm aware of that the library has access to.
Okay. Yes. Great.
Alternate sources,
Okay. Gotcha.
much like the school has the PTO as an
Yeah.
alternate.
Can we confirm that's the only school program, right? Is the author visit?
Unless you include the Pioneer Valley Symphony, which I think last year we talked about it and decided that it didn't serve enough.
Are they even on here this year? I don't see them.
They are. They're number 19 with their education
sorry.
concert. Mm-hmm.
Oliver Town.
Oh,
Yeah, number 19.
Alternate sources.
Their budgets, I know so I wrote down they applied to 20 councils.
16,000.
And yeah, that's the total project is 16,000. So 250 is pretty, it's not going to break it.
They're not particularly local, right? I mean, their main appeal was Shutesbury Elementary School students might attend this.
Yes.
A lot of it, I think, is virtual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
certainly since COVID, that's been the case. They used to take field trips there, but that's not really what's been happening.
I think the way it used to work was that the schools that let me just look at this again because I might be wrong. So your read on this page, this is page 113 that I have here, is that the students would not attend a live concert? It says
Right.
the project takes place in school.
Okay, let me see. 113, right?
They've been zoomed in the last couple of years.
I see.
The third and fourth graders?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's classroom visits.
I mean, part of it too is the class has to, they have to get a school bus to go as well, right? If they're gonna do it.
Yeah, PVS in the past has funded the buses themselves. I don't know if that's still the case.
Mhm.
Usually the schools aren't responsible for the transportation costs.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's still the case. I guess it is only digital.
Is that what it says? It's digital?
Yeah, it's a streamed concert. This is a very confusingly written application, I would say.
Well, and as someone who was in a fourth grade classroom last year, I don't recall any visit.
Okay.
Okay.
We didn't fund them last year, though. I
We
remember talking
Did
about
not,
it.
correct,
Okay.
yeah.
That might
It's
be,
also, I mean, I think it's worth noting, it's a very small fraction, but they're asking for 250 for a total project expense of 16,000.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's diminished, but like if the 250, I think, can go a little further with some, with, for example, some of the smaller projects that are happening in Shutesbury where we can fully fund someone to do something.
Yeah.
Like Eli.
Like Eli,
Eli.
yes, who we did not fully fund last year, and he applied again and he gave a great concert. So
and got
um,
and got a letter of recommendation from Mary Ann. I might add.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
so
That-
let's fully fund his, his concert.
Yes.
Were there any other just while we're talking about any other applications that you were like really excited about, or they did a great job describing their idea, or something that very new or novel that you think would be an interesting addition to Shutesbury culture?
Well, I have to say, I really liked number 30, but I know it's just not in our, just such a shift from so many other.
Becca, I'm glad you brought that one up, because that applicant, he wrote that he was interested in the summer concert series.
Yes.
And I am not sure, I know there is one, but who, is that a SAC thing? Is that a
think
library? The library.
I think the library does that. But
So, right, does anyone else know the summer concert series? Is it a library organized project series? Because I was wondering if there was a way to just let him know, because that he specifically, was interested in doing that, but that's not actually our program. So I just wondered if anyone knew who does run that program and he could talk to those
Point
people
in
directly
an
about it.
alternative direction.
I mean, the application, it sounded like he thought that the cultural council runs a
right.
concert series and was looking to us to find him a venue, which I thought was
Yes,
weird.
right.
I think we've underwritten some that happen on the common.
Well, but also one of our stipulations is to have a venue in hand, because
Oh,
we've
yeah.
come across that situation historically of
point.
people with great ideas but no venue.
Maybe we should refer him to the SAC.
That's what I was thinking. It's just
Honestly, I feel like that
that's
is
not really
the-
our area, but if he comes around again, or that, there are other places to book a show. Not that we have to book him a show by
Right.
any means, but
also,
But I just feel that like the SAC is the perfect venue for that over the summer if they put it together with one of their,
Yeah. with their
barbecue
booking person.
scenarios, it'd be good to go.
I really liked the way he wrote his application.
We've already got this one on the yes list, but I was really interested in the open studios.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
Yes.
that's a really great idea. Would love to
Yes.
see that.
I agree.
I
Yes.
agree.
Well, and PS, Joan Green, 82 years old, like bringing it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I applaud that a lot,
Yes.
just in terms of her willingness and effort.
yes.
I also appreciate her asking for what she needs, not that it's she asked for a good amount to really like publicize it well. Like I
Yeah.
think that's important to do it well and have enough funding to actually know that you can pull it off.
No, she knows what she's doing. She's been,
Yes. I really think that the number 5, the buttons, is a really like it's just a really the visual she included of the button. This is project number 5, make your own pin back button. The visuals of the art being turned into buttons is just a really wonderful, like creating a piece of work project for it's really well thought out doing with kids at the school. I kind of wish I could do it too somewhere as well.
And the nice thing is it's a win for anyone who does it. There's no stress about doing it right.
Yes.
And then they get an instant gratification.
Yeah.
does anybody know who that is?
Sarah
No,
Casilia,
Sarah?
Yeah, she's local artist. Moved here a few years ago, and she's got a nephew in the elementary school in what grade is he in? He's in 2nd grade.
I was just thinking if anybody was actually in touch with her to make that suggestion about opening it up to a wider audience, not just children.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've come across a lot is adults really wanting access to that type of programming that tends to be reserved just for kids and shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be limited to just that. There's
right?
a lot of grown folk out there that are looking for that kind of creative connection.
Rory, you've sent out the approval letters before. Is there a place to give feedback? Or is it more of a form letter?
I've done it a little bit more just formal, but I feel like again that there is space for that. Like if you look at the at the templates, they'll that's an option to do that and just be like, hey, you might want to consider. But again, we're an exceptionally small, tight-knit community, so I tend to think maybe like a little bit more of a personal.
Yes. Yeah.
But all good either way. Either way,
Yeah.
I guess I just want Sarah to know that there's a larger interest,
Yeah.
and that could be really delightful to add that.
Yeah, I think
And it
also, Rory, like your projects tend to serve quite a few people. And I noticed with Sarah's that like at least the t-shirt one only serves 8 people. And I wonder if we want to
oh
look at
really? Is that
how many folks are being served if we're going to move into the nitty-gritty of how to
numbers wise as in like
yeah. I'm sorry if I cut you off. I'm
no, you're
half
no, it's a good question. I don't think I took that in that it was just 8 people. I guess I would wonder why just 8 people? Is it because it's the nature of the project itself is that focus, or if it's about like just having more support in terms of being able to like move people through that process? Like,
Mm.
do they need volunteers to help to serve a larger group of people? I don't know.
Her sister helps her with all of these.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was really great.
I have seen Sarah's studio, and I'm gonna guess it's mostly, it's her art studio, so it's really not built to
So
accommodate.
it's physical space, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
would
yes.
be
And then also there was something about the materials, because if you look at the budget, the fee for the teaching is quite low actually, and it's mostly
exactly.
it's because the workshop is free, right? It's mostly the providing the materials for people to actually make the project.
yeah. Yeah, the pins are wonderful. She thinks 125 people will be served. Um,
And that's maybe at the school, right?
it
Yeah.
does seem to be,
So
yeah.
it's a venue switch, right? I don't know if that's
Yeah.
Right.
available in some other fashion.
Mhm.
And maybe that's
I
just
mean,
a
I think
suggestion
that
moving
because of the
forward.
materials cost for that, I think it would require a higher ask for a grant. I can't find it though.
Right, like the kit fee is
Yes,
cost prohibitive.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the school was going to supply all the paper and the correct whatever art materials for the pins, I think.
Well, and that's just it's t-shirts cost what they cost if you're
Right.
providing them, unless they're being brought by other or people bringing things to
People were
upcycle.
bringing their T-shirts, apparently. Yeah.
She does say that her response if she doesn't get full funding for the t-shirts is to have fewer people, which when it's already at 8 seems
Well, one consideration might be to fully fund a couple of them and then say, give feedback for the t-shirt one and be like, is this something that could be brought out to a larger group? Is it, are you, is the number served about studio space? And if that's the case, is there a way that, this could be brought to the town hall in some fashion, or you know, finding a larger venue, or teaming up with the library and utilizing that as a resource for space accommodation.
I mean, I think that, one of the Mass Cultural Council, I was looking through the guidelines today again because Summer emailed us to check and see if we're having our meeting. And so I was on the website and, part of what they have laid out for funding is a project doesn't necessarily need to reach 200 people. It can also just reach 5 people really well. And that's also like, as local councils consider how they fund things, that's also part of, we can consider that as like it doesn't have to be weighted one way or the other necessarily. Like it's also, of worth funding something that maybe reaches just even the audience can just be an idea that gets developed in not necessarily just for a person only, but in a smaller way with a smaller audience, that it's still a valid use of the state appropriated funds, which I think is it's good to keep in mind as well. Anything else you want to add to that, or any other projects you want to mention or give a shout out to?
Well, I love the worms one, number 7. I think the
Worms.
adults participating in that will have a great time also. And that's all the money they're asking for.
Hmm. Oh, are they, they're doing that. That's when they bring the Hitchcock Center
Right.
educator to Shutesbury, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the
Yeah.
network for children,
Hmm.
Which one? What number was that again? I'm sorry.
number 7.
That's numbers. Yeah. And they,
How things
I
move.
think
But
they
that's
asked last year, did they? Because
a
we usually,
CNC. Didn't we have CNC included on our list though?
oh wait, here it is.
I thought we had.
CNC last year. Yes, we did. It was a not a nature program. It was music and
But they're
movement.
not
Tom
accounted
Horn.
for on our list right now. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
They are on our list right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
two.
Okay.
Yeah. As the sort of, technically outlier outside of Shutesbury, yet value.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they have a Shutesbury venue, right? I mean, they're actually coming to Shutesbury,
Right.
the CNC.
Yep.
Is there anyone else who has other funding? Is the monthly ukulele play along, this is funding for the whole project, right?
Right. 12 months.
Okay. Um, so we should start making some decisions.
How about number 3? I feel like that's just such an incredible concept. These are kids. It's local. They actually have books that are going to be available to be signed. Number 3, Emma and Belly's sister detectives.
Did they apply last year?
I think so. I think we helped them out last year with their, it's not research, but sort of preparing to make the book.
So yes, they applied to several councils and I saw a digital copy of the book when it was done. They sent it over and we did fund the making of the book. So this is the book is done and this would be a, book reading and a book signing. And they also said in the application, they'd be selling books as well. But I don't think they have a confirmed, venue for that.
No, they say that it'll take place at the Spear Library, but then they list the estimated number of people as 100.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think my thoughts when I saw it is the book is wonderful. And I think like a book, a book signing is, typically to sell books or promote a book, book promotion is sort of a separate step than book creation. And I feel like the funding was well placed in creating the book and the promotion of it. I don't feel as strongly about supporting that part of it.
Good point. And I'm sure the library will do.
Yes.
Pick it up.
Do
Yeah.
they live in Shutesbury?
No,
On page, where am I? I'm on page
They're in
22 of the
orange.
PDF. It says they're very involved around Shutesbury. It doesn't say that they live here,
right.
but I don't know what that line means. The authors are very involved around Shutesbury.
I do remember that. I remember that from last time as well.
Maybe they're from Orange or.
Yes, I think that's right. It was
The primary
orange, I
contact
believe.
is orange. Yeah.
I see.
Mhm. Elizabeth, I want to find your spreadsheet. There it is. Okay. We're at 7,367. So
Hmm.
anyone need another cup of coffee before we dive into this?
Should we delete absolute deletions just for clarity, or is that unnecessary?
Um, I think if we work from the spreadsheet, maybe I'm answering this wrong. With the spreadsheet that we have, I think we're just working with the ones we would like to fund all or partially right now. That's what we're
Yep.
looking at right now. Everything else that we did not discuss every single applicant, and that was because we did narrow it down to those that are directly involved in our community or representing people represented from our community directly.
What if we do the non-library applicants and see what that total is,
Okay.
and then subtract that from the library?
All right, spreadsheet wizard. What?
So 4, 5, 6.
Elizabeth, your mic is off. I really want to hear you talking through the
thanks.
spreadsheet right now. live.
The total minus the library ask is 4477. That's 3 for Sarah, the CNC, Eli, Open Studios, the school, Anna Sobel, Julie, Pro Musica, Pride, Hilltown Families, and Uniquely Quabbin.
Wow.
Is there an argument to be made out of on the grounds of equity that giving 3 grants to one artist might be
Mm,
much?
I feel that way. It would be a full, like, almost a quarter of our, well, that math isn't right, but like it'd be a fifth of our total give if we fully funded Sarah and Kelly. And I love them, just for the record. But yeah, I do think
Okay, let's look at those. Let's look at those. And then I want to look again at the school author visit as well and see what the sources of funding are for that. So we'll start with, let's look at Sarah Casilio's 3 applications. Someone have a page number where those start?
Thank you.
But I'm always lost in this document, even if it's all in order.
They should-
29 or 27, I think.
Great.
There's on 24, I think.
24. Thank you.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
They should put hyperlink anchors so you can just
I
click
know.
from the
Right?
I've
table.
Go
always
down my
felt
notes.
that way. It's like to scroll through all of them, like, am I missing something?
I know. I can't even search the document for some reason either. It's like, I don't
I
know.
want to be able to click on the link of the applicant and just go right there. I would assume that's what a hyperlink is
Yes.
for the Luddites of the group.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we've got the t-shirt. Someone tell me how many people.
T-shirts are 8 people.
Yeah, both the t-shirt and her third one both happen in the studio, and they both accommodate 8 people. And the one at school is like 120 people, I think, and that's the pinback button machine one.
Maybe that's the feedback, right?
I think that's the one.
Okay.
Loved your other proposals. You need to find a venue where you can serve more people.
Once the library's built, this is not going to be an issue, right?
It would be awesome.
I would do want to say, I think it's because we are so underserved with venues in Shutesbury. Sarah's studio has all the stuff in it and all the things, and it's a very like treat of a space to be in. So I think it's a good like unique offering that isn't another thing at the library. That being said, I think I'm still on board with us funding one of these and choosing it to be that one.
Is
For the
she in the loop regarding the open studios? Would she be willing to participate in that?
I believe she's on the list.
Fabulous.
On that list for Joan's
Yeah.
application. I believe she's on that list, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Becca, Rory, you're on the list too, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
but I'm
great.
saying, if I mean, like, I totally agree, and
Yes.
you know, how do we get people to experience, you know, her sort of nexus center of creativity, while also being able to bring that out into the world a little bit more fully.
I know that we just agreed, but can I push back just a little bit? So the bow making workshop, it's 2 days. And yeah, it's only 8 people, but it also addresses the waste stream. And I think that that's like something that's really useful. Whereas the t-shirts, I feel like probably look super cool, but addressing the waste stream seems like it has like another layer of usefulness. Art doesn't have to be useful, but I don't know, can we partially fund? Could we do like a 1.5 kind of situation with her? And that would get people into her studio. What's that, Rory?
I said we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I do like she's addressing the waste stream. I guess I'll just put that on the record.
Thanks for
Well, and I
pointing
would,
that
I
out.
would advocate the same can be said for the shirts, because if people are bringing their own shirts, that's keeping textiles out of the waste stream, which is, you know.
I
We could
think-
get 2 workshops instead of 1.
Yeah, she said she's willing to cut it back to 1 day too.
Yeah, okay.
So
And is there a number she gives for what that would be if it was cut back to 1 day,
Wait.
budget wise?
For the bows.
it was because she was going to do the paper herself.
Mhm.
No, I don't think there was a change. Couldn't think of it.
But I mean, I would say too, like, it's not, we're not arguing the value and the importance of the workshop and the proposal. Like, all of that's really there. It's just about how many people are being served
Mhm.
in conjunction with what we have available to us, and the fact that it would be a 3, because the idea was that it was going to be a three funding, or 3 proposals funded.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm delighted to go in whatever.
Elizabeth, let's keep, for our workshopping this spreadsheet, let's keep it like it is. So let's move, let's keep 5 in and let's just move her 2 out to the side and then let's see where we're at again later, okay?
Okay.
Because I also agree, there are a lot of, if there weren't as many applicants this year, it'd be different, but there are a lot of applicants. So I think, you know, giving many of them each an award might be what we need to do this year instead of giving one person multiple awards this year. Okay. Okay. Where does that put us?
4125 without the library.
Okay.
If we fully fund Sarah for line number 5.
Here's a question. Do we want to partially fund some of these other ones, the outliers, 1, 9, 11, and 28,
Yes.
in a way that is, you know, accepting, acknowledging that those programs are meaningful to us, while also subsequently fully funding Sarah?
If we take Hilltown Families and just give them half of their, award them half of what they asked for, that's consistent with what we've done in the past. Hilltown
Right.
Families, 125.
Uniquely Quabbin, Hilltown, Pride, and Pro Musica. Like, what if we were to partially fund by half each of those? Just, how would that change?
Without
The
the
big-
library, that gets us to 3,500.
Would that put Sarah back in a more significant way, or do we want to have more of a conversation about that?
I think we have to talk about the library first
Mm,
and then talk about
Yeah.
that again. Yeah.
Sure.
Wow, that really made a difference though, 3,500.
Mhm.
Okay.
What was the library again? It was
The library total is
28.
And my name is attached to one of them.
I
So I'm not really sure how we want to proceed. Like, I'm happy to,
don't think it's been a problem in the past, and you offer a really valuable service. I think we're all grown-ups.
thank you, and like, I'm okay to bow out if it feels awkward or
Mhm.
conflict of interest-y or any other, whatever.
I think you just need to recuse yourself from voting on that particular line item.
The particular, yes, that we're talking, line 15, line item 15. Can I just do a number thing? What if each of these is 75% funded? What does that put us at? Each of the library ones, and possibly the author visit. Where is that one? SES author visit.
It's line 18.
So it's 75. The library would be 2,168
Total or at 75%?
at 75%.
Thank you.
And then 75% of that would be,
That is the 75%.
right.
Yeah.
Um,
What was the total we had? 5,000.
5,500.
500. Wow, that's pretty close.
That is
And if we fund the SES at 365, which is a number I made up close to 75%, that gets us to
a
5,583.
good number. I like that number.
Love it.
I can do the actual math.
I just wanna, and you said that's PTO, otherwise it's it will still happen, otherwise it's PTO funded the rest of it, or is it already PTO funded?
I mean, I don't know if it's fair for me to say stuff about PTO.
Yeah,
now that
I don't mean, I'm sorry, I'm asking you to, I
But they
mean, to
will.
can we look at their application? And I can't find the page number, but I would like to just look at their budget, for the MCBA author visit.
I think that was pared down to,
But that also is shared with other schools. Right? That's
It's on 129, the
Thank
budget.
you, 129.
This is the only source of indicated income.
yeah.
Okay, so it is, librarians at these 3 Union 28 schools.
right. It's listed as SES's portion.
Okay, got you.
So it is part of a whole ask.
Rory, did it already happen? It says it's going to happen January 4th of 2024. That was this week, right?
It had happened.
I thought my kid came home with something from that.
It was delightful. I mean, it's a real highlight experience. Sure.
So
Yeah.
it will happen regardless, as it did.
Yeah, it says, I will utilize PTO funding if necessary. The PTO allocates $75 to each teacher.
Okay, so does that mean they're taking funds away from the teacher funds?
It just means that the libraries, my perception is that the library's allocation is $75. They're right
Mhm.
from the PTO, like their annual allotment. And I don't know if that is meaning that she has talked to other teachers and there are other teachers who are willing. I don't know. Elizabeth, do you have any insight?
I know a lot about it.
Okay.
But I mean, so the library is, so I made a budget for this year. And I don't know if they changed it because I stepped down this fall. So, but the library and MCBA have 2 separate lines in the PTO budget. So Heather gets $75 to use at her discretion. And then there is a line item in the PTO budget for MCBA books. And the last few years, she has requested money for the author's visit, and the PTO has funded it every single time. And I am 100% sure that the PTO has more money than they know what to do with and would absolutely fund anything that Heather asked for. So Heather will get reimbursed if she spent her personal money on this regardless, whether we participate in that or not. So there's no concern. I think it's really just a matter of whether or not we want to signal support and if it makes a difference in terms of precedent for future years.
What
Thank you.
about 50 then? 50%?
Last year we funded 50% on the MCBA author visit.
Keeping the library at 75%, that brings us to 54.43. Do you want to give the rest of the library?
Shutesbury Elementary or town?
We're talking about $7.
Like, yeah.
What was it,
$7.
$7?
$7.
Elementary.
Elementary. Just because we cut that one 50% and we did the libraries 75% funded.
Yep.
That
Do
seemed
it.
okay.
The children.
The- Um, hmm.
Oh, it's actually, sorry, we have an extra $100. It was $107. Not just
Well, that's too much money for the children.
7.
So we need to give more to the children? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
I
yeah.
say we give it to Eli.
Give it
Isn't
to
he getting
Eli.
his-
Bump
Eli
him.
is fully funded though, yeah?
he's fully funded.
He is fully funded.
I mean, can we do this school? Yeah, I mean,
How much do we have? 100?
$100.
Why don't we spread it out 25 to each of our 4 Pro Musica Pride Hilltown families uniquely Quabbin?
I'm seeing we
Ooh.
have $50. Am I reading it wrong? Am I reading the wrong line? Am I not updated?
So I kept column D as amount requested as reference, and then I moved over sort of like our working math to column E. And you can see that on
54.
row 17, I just put in 2168, which is the 75% of all lines 14, 15, 16, and 17.
Yes.
And so we're looking at line 26, column E, 5450. Does that look right to you?
Yes. We need to assign $50 more somewhere.
Wait a second, did we fund?
Oh,
Julie?
yes, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay,
100.
great.
Sorry.
Did we fund Julie, the ukulele, number 25?
Mm-hmm.
Fully, yes.
Okay.
Uh, let's see, $50 divided by 4.
What if we give it to Sarah?
it would have to be for one of the other projects specifically, right?
Yeah, partial funding for the bow making. I don't know. That doesn't help her much, does it?
Doesn't. The but good, yes. Good direction. What about Pro Musica had asked for 500, we only funded it 250. SES asked for 450, we only funded 232. These are just, I'm just going through numbers that are a little, where there's a more discrepancy between what they asked for and what we are funding.
If it's 50, why don't we just spread it out and do 10 to SES, 10 to Pro Musica, 10 to Pride, 10 to Hilltown, 10 to Uniquely Quabbin?
I like it.
Me too.
Yep.
It's beautiful, Elizabeth.
Do we need to articulate the 2168 across 4 programs for the library?
In
We-
this spreadsheet,
Mm-hmm.
if you did, then I could copy it into my Mass Cultural Council spreadsheet. As it
I mean,
is.
you need it for you need to stipulate the fund, the award, so.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Fun.
Put them in specifically so I know exactly a record of what we talked about here. Did it work out?
Yep.
Yes. Great. Does everyone approve of that? What we did today?
Very much.
Yes.
Also, everyone is a yes? Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna send out denials first. I said that looking at you, Rory, right? Denials go out first.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Denials, and then they have a period of time to respond, say why. I've never had anyone respond. And then you send out the approvals.
Okay. So we also have a small amount that we could use for, I mentioned we have $200 we could use for printing or publicity, or one thing that has come up with some of the grant recipients has been Mass Cultural Council asked them to include logos with their projects promotion. And I usually refer to them to the Mass Cultural Council logo, but they are technically supposed to use the local council's logo, or somehow attribute it to us if they're doing a local program. We could create something like that with a local person, local person.
We would have a logo?
We could have a logo.
I
That
think
would be
No
awesome.
way.
And fund it with that. And then I could, it wouldn't be an extra task for us to, print or make promo, but when people are doing that for their own projects, they can include it.
Can I make it into one of the pins? Can we go to the
Yeah,
We should all have a Shutesbury LCC pin.
website?
Mhm.
For real.
I would wear it all the time.
I would wear one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Right.
button size.
Do you have an artist in mind?
I don't have an artist in mind.
Well, maybe we have a logo contest and invite the
Ooh.
community to.
Make a logo.
That's a
I
great
remember when they
idea.
did that for the
It can get dicey.
it's very nice. Yes. Then we have to vote again.
No.
I think it might be nice to pay a professional to do the thing that they know how to do well, you know?
Yes.
Trying to think of who.
A 200, remember, it's a $200 logo, 200.
So
So,
that's not much
in our
money for a
community.
professional.
I mean, it's not much money, but like it just has to, like I don't plan to be like demanding about it, right?
I also feel like half the teenagers in this town could probably bust out a sweet
That would
logo,
be sweet.
20
Yes.
minutes or less.
Great idea.
Their technological.
I mean, a Canva has a bazillion templates too.
Yes.
if
I mean,
we
one
did-
of us could also do it, and the funds could be used in that way as well.
Oh yeah. I would love to, but I should not take on anything else. So I
You're
want
not
to
allowed.
support everyone who's doing fun things. But I should not be responsible for it.
Elizabeth, how hard is Canva to
It's
learn?
the most
From what I-
intuitive thing ever. It's literally just drag and drop. And it has a ton of editing features, and you can save in multiple formats. There's a resize function. You can do painterly things. It's really a super
Wow.
fantastic tool. And I probably have a paid version if anyone wanted to play around with the paid version. The free version is almost pretty complete, especially for someone who's just learning it. And you just go to canva.com and get started. So
Sounds dangerous.
it's really fun.
The Canva rabbit hole.
I know I sound like a and they just launched an AI feature, which I have mixed feelings about. It doesn't do very good work yet.
Mm.
Not a fan, but
I think it's appropriate to have solidly mixed feelings about AI.
thank you.
I'm
I'm super
I
annoyed with
agree.
it.
Mixed
Team
feelings
Elizabeth
as
on that
well.
one.
What else let's see. We could have a logo.
Do we want to just sort of table it and ask around for
Yeah.
people, and then just sort of put together an email
Yeah.
I like
That's-
that.
suggestion box?
I served it out. Let's just listen around and see if anything like pops up in the next, week or two. I can also make one, like I don't want to assign myself, but I can also make one, which is fine.
Isn't
I also
that
thought
sort of
this
like
year,
in the world of what you do?
it is,
So
yes.
I feel like we should be leveraging this incredible resource we have here.
I'd be
Me too.
happy to do it. I also would love to, I think if something came up, Mateo, in the past about the website, do we have any images of anything to put on the website? And I don't think we do, but I'm also a photographer, and I would be happy to go to a couple of these events and take a couple photos.
Can that money be used to pay you to do that?
We
If
could pay you
you-
200 for it.
If you all
there
would
you
like
go.
to do that, then I would, yes, I could do it that way as well. Yes.
I don't know what the restrictions are on the local cultural councils, if we're allowed to do this, but are we allowed to say to recipients that maybe not a condition of getting this money, but an expectation is that you'll submit some kind of documentation afterwards, like a photo or something that we might be able to use? I mean, going forward, it might be a way to start collecting, having the grant recipients do that legwork.
That's a great idea. I know that I've always been required to submit like evidence of publicity, including photos, when I do grant reconciliations. Do we already ask people to do that?
Yes. And,
Yeah.
technically we need some sort of, along with their reimbursement, they should be sending us, proof of event. But I think maybe being more specific about it and
Yeah.
saying, please send us, photographic documentation of your event in, I don't know, whatever. I mean, maybe depending on the gig, the advertisement alone would be an appropriate visual. I don't know.
Typically, yeah, they do have to submit supporting documentation, and but it's very it's very like
Word-
financial
word.
documents, a poster, and it's all like in an envelope at City Hall. Like it's not a digital It's just funny, this granting thing, it's both online and an online, format, and also like there's a paper trail, and that's usually what we get is a paper trail from them. But that's a good through the Shutesbury email account. The grant recipients do email our council, and that would be a place also to say, do have a photo or two we could use on our website. Because I think part of it would be asking permission, because they could supply it as documentation. But we'd have to ask if we can share it as
Well,
share their likeness.
yeah, and I think saying that up front, saying like, for the purposes of promoting the work that the Cultural Council does, we would be, we might use this material online or print for publication. But I mean, especially if they are local applicants who are likely to be repeat applicants in the future, it seems like they would want to build a little goodwill by just, it's really easy to take a picture with your phone and just email it along, right?
Well, and I think it behooves you to have that documentation to refer to as an applicant for other projects and other grants, yeah?
Mhm.
Mm.
Mateo, do you feel there's space on our website for a handful of photos?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we wouldn't put every single thing up there, but I think having a selection of really visually exciting shots of lots of people taking advantage of Cultural Council funding, and update it every year or so with fresh stuff. Yeah.
Does the $200, it's for promotional stuff, would that include website maintenance and website creation? Could
Uh,
those funds be distributed more broadly?
it's the town's website. So there's nothing to, we're not paying a web designer or anything or for hosting or anything.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? All right, we did it. Great. I will do the next step, and then let's check some stuff out this year that happens. Great. Do any of you also ever want to have like a social coffee hour or something sometime? Is anybody interested in like an in-person, but we can't have a meeting. This isn't a meeting like to discuss council events, but I think since we're all interested in the culture of Shutesbury, it could be fun to just have a social sometime.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
definitely. Yeah.
I might send another doodle. Sorry, a doodle. Can everyone use those? Is it fine? Is it okay? Okay, for like a coffee hour or something sometime.
Be
In
great.
the winter.
It's good.
Okay, great. Anything else? If you have anything else to add, I think I'll end the meeting. Send me, just jot the notes, just that in order of just what we discussed briefly. Elizabeth, thank you. And I will send that over to the town clerk to post.
Okay. The link is in the email. Everyone has access to
Great.
it. So
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
thank you so much.
you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you all. I just
Bye.
want to say great meeting, by the way, because it's 7:59. We were super
Real.
efficient.
Great.
Bye.
Bye.